Hello, welcome everybody. It's nice seeing you. Can you all hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah, yeah.
Good day, everyone.
Good
Yes, we
evening.
can.
Welcome. Thanking everybody from joining this section. I'm super excited to be here with you today. I'm also welcoming everybody joining us live from all over the globe. And today I'll be moderating. My name is Halima Oguntoyinbo, and today with me here I have this wonderful women who are doing extremely well in their various fields. Some of them are founders, some of them are CEOs, some of them are policymakers and change makers. And today, together, we'll be talking about a powerful topic, yet a very timely one: women power and the new economy. How women are going to be leading with strategy, technology, and influence. Before I proceed, I would like to thank the organizers of this event, GatherVerse, for giving us this wonderful platform for women to showcase their skill, to learn the voice, and we're super grateful for this opportunity. Before I dive into our topic today, I would like my wonderful women here to introduce themselves, what they do, their names, and where they're joining us from. So I'm starting with Adebumi. So Adebumi, can you introduce yourself to us? Okay, so we'll move to Taiwo. Taiwo, can you introduce yourself to us and where you're joining us from?
Okay, so thank you so much for having me here. My name is Taiwo Dewemba. A fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants and also a travel consultant. So I am the CEO of Seed Royal Travels and Tours Limited. I am located in Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you. So I believe in making a difference. I believe in adding value, and I am not adding value because of what I want to get, but because I know when you add value to your society and um, you bring value to the table, you will always get value in return. Thank you.
Thank you for the wonderful presentation, Taiwo. Moving next, Evelyn would like to know you and where you're joining us from.
All right. Good day, everybody. I'm so pleased to be here. Can you hear me? All right. So, my name is Evelyn Ayoshola, and I'm a leader. I'm a leadership fellow, and I'm a professional working in the intersection of technology, strategy, and a lot of public-facing initiatives. And over the years, I've had the opportunity to serve in leadership across programs that focus on system building, innovation, and impact, particularly in environments where decisions matter and resources are quite limited. So my work has really shaped how I think about leadership for women, and not just in terms of visibility, but also influence and execution. So I'm actually looking forward to very practical discussion here today. I want to learn from fellow panelists and also to be able to share. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us, Evelyn. Next will be Halima. Welcome, Halima. Can we know you and where are you joining us from?
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Halima Muhammad. I have a background in statistics from Ahmadu Bello University, Nigeria. So now I transitioned into being a project manager. As reaching out to African Girls Initiative, Rotagi for short. Rotagi is a non-profit pan-African organization that deals with training young girls on how to use AI, leadership, leadership development, life skills, and digital skills. I'm so happy to meet every one of you here. I'm calling from Kaduna State, Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful introduction. Next, Demisola.
Good day to you, speakers. Good day, the moderator. My name is Bimisola Halo, and currently I work as a project manager at African Biomed Tests Limited. Okay, professionally, that's what I do daily, but passionately, um, I've realized a purpose in helping first time mothers gain clarity, especially at that very early stage. And at the moment, that is one vision for me to see that first time mothers, most especially, and I can say new moms are supported, they feel heard, and they are also empowered to do more for their family and for their community. Yeah, thank you, everyone. And I look forward to a very practical session this evening. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
For
Demisola. Wonderful. It's nice meeting you. And finally, Adegbomi, we are not able to hear you earlier. So can we get to meet you?
Hi everyone, it's a pleasure meeting everyone. My name is Adebumi Oyewale. I'm an executive assistant with a background in travel and operations, and I'm also the founder of the Stupendious Virtual Assistant, a platform that empowers women to become impactful as a VA and executive assistant. Generally, I help leaders across the USA, Canada, Australia. I've worked with a couple of them. I help them to stay organized, focused, and I also help them to stay ahead of their activities on a daily basis. I look forward to having an amazing experience in this session. Thank you.
So, Adebumi, now that we've known our wonderful speakers for today, I think it's the right time we dive into the discussion of today. There are so many people waiting to hear from your wonderful experience and insight. So, for the first question, what does real power look like for women in today's economy in terms of authority, ownership, influence, or access? So, I think I'll throw the question to Adebumi. We'd like to hear your insights.
Okay, thank you for the question, moderator. For me, I would say real power has to do with choice, and that is the ability for you as a woman to decide what exactly you want, what you want to walk away from, and what you intend to build. Because, yes, authority is very good, power influences, all of this open door. But at the end of the day, it can still leave the woman trapped. Okay, so let me give you an example. Let's assume a woman works in an organization and she has all the big title, but unfortunately, she cannot make decisions. She cannot even negotiate her own salary. She can't even walk away from a toxic space just because she does not want to lose the pay. Would you say that is a real power? No. I believe the title is just a tag. But on the other hand, we have another woman who she owns a small consulting firm and she chooses has power over her own time, and she also impacts younger generation. So for me, you can see the difference between the two of them. One has the big title, but the other one, she has the authority to choose. So I would say real power is the combination of access, influence, authority, ownership, and the ability to choose. Because of course, if a woman can earn, if she can decide what she wants to work with, what she wants to build, and lastly, if she can actually give space for what she does not want, that is real power, if you ask me. So thank you.
Wonderful insights. I really enjoyed the way you combined everything together. And I'm also Halima. Do you have anything to add to that? You're muted. Your mic is muted.
Okay, thank you. I'm just going to add to what Bumi just said. In my role in operation, I get to realize that structure gives people power. When you are structured, when you can make decision, you know how your teams collaborate, you know how to track performances, that gives people real power. Structure gives power. So, and of course, and this also taught me that in my place at work, I also get to realize that when you build systems, that's the real definition of power. Building systems, making sure people know what they need to do, and all that, that it brings influence for them. Thank you.
Wonderful insight. I really love how you match the question with project management. Everything you do, once there's no proper structure, there's always chaos. Thank you very much for that. We'll move to the next question, and that would be, how are women refining leadership in sectors that are traditionally dominated by men? Hmm. So I think I'll throw the question to Sola. Can you share something with us?
Can I get a question again?
So, how are women redefining leadership in organization in structures that are originally dominated by men?
I think one thing is paramount about we women, and that is our ability to bring into a space emotional intelligence. And I think that is a very core skills that women often bring to an organization. You know, the real emotional intelligence, empathy, you know, and structure, creating structure, you know, using system thinking. I think sometimes it's natural for we women because it's something we've been doing right from the corner of our homes. And I think this is really shaping, uh, it's really shaping the economy and even the organization where women work. Thank you.
Thank you, Bemisola, for that wonderful insight. To add, I also think that women these days are not ready to give up any longer. We are not ready to be pushed aside. Women are now doing things in in sectors that we used to think are just men, like engineering. We now see women in who are engineers, software engineers, front-end engineers, data scientists, and all that. So I think the women of this day are no longer ready to just be stay-at-home moms. They are also ready to put themselves out there. So thank you very much, Bemi Sola, for that wonderful insight. So I think I'm going to my next question will be for Evelyn, and that's because in recent time you've been in a leadership role. So what strategic skill will matter most for women between now and 2030?
Hmm. Thank you so much for that question. So, what strategic role will matter for women? Okay. Um, Truthfully, the role that I would say it matters both for men and women. But to start with, women have to stop taking the back seat. So when we talk about skills and roles and soft skills, hard skills, many times men they they go they go head on to attack and to take up these things. So I would say the role is soft skills and being able to translate your credibility into visibility. So there are many times that we do a lot of things. We do a lot of things. We have a lot of skills, just like there was someone that just mentioned that it's natural for women to do a number of things, but most times we do not talk about them, we do not document them, we are not confident enough to stand and say, this is what I can do. even though we can do them. So there are many times that we do far above and beyond what our male counterparts are doing. So I believe at this point, women are already doing, like, we already have those necessary skills. But being able to translate that your skill into visible work that people can see and appreciate you for is something that we should keep track of and we should learn this time. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Evelyn. I think visibility is the key word. So many people have this, they have the skills, but they keep hiding. And there's no how people can see the skills you have if you keep hiding. So I think for everybody watching us, if you have those skills, show them to the world, do not hide any longer. This is 2026 and people, women are showing up. Thank you very much, Evelyn, for that wonderful insight. So, Evelyn, I'll still throw this back to you. Sorry, Bemisola. I think Bemisola is in the best position to answer this. As a woman who I know you have a background in data science, how are women leveraging technology? How are they using data to gain competitive advantage?
Let's go back to the issue of power. I think technology has now brought more power for women, because we can be in the corner of our homes and be doing things. We can now talk about visibility without having to travel, far and wide, or without having to travel from the corner of our rooms. We can talk about access, we can talk about networking, we can talk about gaining international relevance even without stepping out of the doors of our homes. So I believe strongly that technology is now a leverage for us and has become something that equalizes us with our male folks out there. So technology for me is a very powerful tool that women are now leveraging. Go to Instagram, go to LinkedIn. You see amazing work women are doing, even for women that are doing remote jobs, even working from home without even stepping outside the comfort of their homes. And they are doing big things. They are being, they are taking themselves out there, talking in terms of visibility. They're gaining access not just within their local vicinity, international relevance. I think technology has now helped us to break the barriers that existed in the past when we thought, okay, it's only men that have the privilege of going out at any time, without looking back. Now we can be with our children and be doing things, internationally being recognized. I think that is a very strong one for me.
Wonderful insight, Bimisola. Ademo, do you want to add something to this? I know you're a LinkedIn person as well. Do you want to add to this?
Okay, so I would say share like my colleagues have just said, women are actually we are changing the narrative, and
Okay,
when I say
so
we are changing the
I'll just move to
narrative
the next
in
question.
today's world,
Taiwo, as a
can you not
woman
hear
in
me?
business,
uh, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes,
Yes,
yes, I can
please.
hear you.
we can hear you
Okay, I
perfectly.
think she okay, I think she interrupted for Taiwo to go on. Can I still
Yeah.
proceed, moderator? Okay, okay. So I was saying that
We can
gone
hear
are the
you,
days
Adebon.
when we have only the male counterparts as pilots. Okay, today we have women pilots, we have women engineers,
Yes, we
data
can.
analysts, software engineers. We have a lot of women doing amazing things now. So it is safe to say that this is gradually changing the mindsets of women that are laid back. They are beginning to gain courage to be
Yes.
able to aim for something better. So today, women have a lot of advantages to leverage technology and AI especially. And I'm also proud to say I'm a woman doing wonderfully well in the tech session. Thank you.
I think our moderator has issues with our latency.
Obviously, but I think she's coming
Okay.
back.
Can I take it up from there? Can I continue while
Yes,
so that
please.
we don't have to wait
Yes,
for her?
please. Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. Let me go ahead with Taiwo. Taiwo, I'm going to be throwing a question to you concerning what we have discussed so far. And what would you say what role does mentorship versus sponsorship play in accelerating women's growth?
Sorry, please can you come again? Sorry, can you come again with the question? Uh-oh.
Jesus.
Unfortunately, we lost Taiwo too. He's coming up.
Okay, can you hear me? Am I
Yes, you are.
audible?
Yes, you are. You can go ahead if you got the question.
Okay, so um I did not really get what Adibumi was saying, but let me talk about how women-led businesses can scale sustainably, given the fact that I've been in the business world for a while. And I know when it comes to scaling of business, you hear people talk about wanting to scale their business. You hear people talk about, when they talk about scaling of business, what readily comes to mind is they often focus on numbers, the revenue, visibility, expansion. But many women scarcely think scaling of business comes with hidden costs. They totally forget that part that scaling of business comes with. And some of the hidden costs include burnout. You tend to burn out when you think of scaling business or when you go into scaling your business. Then there could be value conflict and loss of well-being as a result of the burnout. And so the real question should not be can women scale business, but it should be how to scale business the right way. And if we are to talk about how to scale business the right way, it means we'll be talking about personal values, we'll be talking about health and well being, which is the opposite of what I mentioned earlier. We'll be talking about long term capacity and not just ambition. So when we say personal values, when scaling your business as a woman, it is extremely important that you do not allow it to negate your personal value as a person. For example, if one of your, like me, let me use myself as an example, one of my personal value is integrity, and integrity also happens to be one of my business core value. So if for me to scale my business, I will be putting my integrity on the line, or what it will cost me to scale my business is for me to put my integrity on the line, then it's a signal that I am not meant to scale my business in that direction, because I must not sacrifice my personal value in exchange for scaling of my business. So it's extremely important that women take note of this. If scaling my business would put my health and well-being on the line, then it's a red flag for me. So it means for us to, as women, to successfully scale our business and have all-round balance, these things must be looked into such that you don't end up scaling your business and you lose your marriage, you lose your family, you lose your children. There should be a balance. You scale your business and lose your health. So we should be very intentional about this. And then we look at the long-term capacity, not just ambition. You see people scaling their business and you just go into it without proper planning and looking at the key things that you need to look at. Another thing that is important is it's important for us to build systems so we don't end up sacrificing ourselves for that business. Where there are no systems, it becomes difficult to scale without you being the sacrificial lamb. So when you start thinking of scaling your business as a woman, it is extremely important that you put processes in place instead of keeping everything in your memory. And then you should be ready to delegate instead of, taking control. I know power can be so sweet, but for the sake of scaling the business, you need to let go of that power and delegate responsibilities. Then we should also harness technology. I know at the beginning of this, one of the speakers mentioned the role of technology. We should not undermine the role of technology in scaling of business effectively. We should make use of technology such that it would help us, will scale, will be healthy, will also have healthy relationships. Thank you.
Much, Evelyn. Sorry for the break. I would like to throw my next question to Evelyn this time around. Recently, you've been in some mentorship programs. So, what does mentorship? How does mentorship affect mentorship versus sponsorship? How does that play in accelerating women's growth?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, so I would say that mentorship helps you grow, sponsorship helps you move. Again, mentorship helps you grow, sponsorship helps you move. So both are critical in your growth professionally and in every wise as a woman, but we must know the differences, where it is needed and where it is critical to have. So mentors provide guidance, provide perspective, keeps us from falling into errors that people that have gone ahead had already fallen into. Of course, people say that experience is the best teacher, but sometimes it is the experience of others that is the best teacher. Not, it does not have to be your own experience. You do not have to fall into an error before you learn the right thing to do. So mentorship helps you learn from the mistakes and even the right things that others have done ahead. So it provides a safe space to learn. I've benefited a lot from mentors who have helped me think better and avoid costly mistakes. Sponsorship, on the other hand, accelerates your growth. It helps you move. They don't just advise you. They actually carry you. They hold your hand and they take you into rooms, or they speak for you in rooms that you cannot speak for yourself. Sponsors are the people that can do that. Sponsors are the people that put your name forward for opportunities. Sponsors are the people that stretch your assignments. Sponsors are the people that gives you leadership roles. They say, okay, I know that you can do this, or I know that you will be able to do this, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to prove yourself. Mentors teach you, but sponsors give you the opportunity to express that thing that you have learned. So we can see the both sides. Both sides are important, but we have to know when, okay, that you know that, okay, I've learned all these things, I've gone to school, I've done my masters, I've done this, I've done that, I've done professional courses, but where is the opportunity? So sponsors are the one that, and the truth is, these things come by relationship, comes by networking. And networking is not just trying to see someone and buy their favor or something like that. It's just it just helps to carry you. And I want us to know, I know you will agree with me that many women, both in church, like in religious organization, in the office, we are over mentored, but we are under sponsored. So yes, a lot of training, there's a lot of training, there's a lot of mentorship session, there's a lot of programs for women. But where are the people that will hold their hand and say, I have a position that I want you to fill. I have a role that I know that you can fill. So this is very important. Thank you very much. All right. Lima is off. I think I would continue. Can you all hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you very much. So the next question I'm directing to Alima Muhammad. Yeah. So if you could if you could redesign the future economy for women, what's the first thing that you're going to change? Just one thing.
Okay. Thank you, Evelyn. If I could change the first economy for women, the first thing I'm going to change is not just confidence of motivation. Of course, I'm going to change access. Yes, access. When I mean access to technology, access to information, access to decision making rooms. I'm talking about access to opportunities, access to mentorship, not just participation. Okay, I've seen women with ideas and skills, but being excluded because they being excluded in the room because they don't have access. But when you give these women access to all these things I just mentioned earlier, they'll be able to make impact in the society. When you give women access, they don't just build they don't just grow individually. Okay, businesses they build businesses, they create job opportunities, they strengthen the communities. You see, when you give women access to this, they impact their access multiplies impact. So if you could give women what's the name? Sorry, excuse me. If you could give women economy improves, if women economy improves when women are fully included in how the decisions are being made. Okay. So if there's one thing would like to change, of course, it's going to
Yeah.
be intentional access. Women having
Thank
access
you.
to opportunities, a lot of things. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so
You're most
much. Thank you for
welcome.
the concise answer. So my next question is to Taiwo. Yeah. So what has been your most pivotal leadership lesson that's reshaped how you operate today? So, one lesson. I know there have been many lessons, but what is one leadership lesson that is most pivotal to you that has reshaped how you operate today?
okay. So, one of the most important leadership lessons I've learned is that during everything, if I decide to do everything well, that does not make me a good leader. Rather, it will just make me achieve, okay, see what I want to do. Okay, yes, this thing was well done. But I'm not a good leader because I decided to do it myself. Rather, building others to get the task done makes me a good leader, because I'm actually building them. And in building others, it requires a lot of patience, intentionality, letting go. It means I should be able to let go of certain things. It requires emotional intelligence, it requires trust, it requires courage to choose long-term sustainability over short-term convenience. Because the truth is, as a leader, it is not it at times it might not be convenient delegating, but when you look at the long-term benefit you get to enjoy when you delegate, you teach them how to do it. Yes, they wouldn't know how to do it immediately. So you need to be
Yeah.
patient. So it's something I've come to learn, and it means I'm able to reproduce myself in others,
Mm.
which is
Yes, yes,
something
yes,
that
yes.
for me is a huge achievement. It was something I did
Yes.
not get to learn on time. So I was always overburdened. I always
Yeah.
wanted things to be done my own way. But I learned that humility is to accept that they won't do it exactly like me. They have their
Yes. Thank
unique
you.
personality. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Taiwo, for that answer. So my next question is to Misola, still talking on lessons. So of course, experiences would have brought a different perspective and new things for you to talk about. So I want to ask Sola that what systemic barriers still quietly limit women's economic power? I'm not sure if you've touched on this before, but we can still touch on it. So what systemic barriers still quietly limit women's economic power, and how do we dismantle them? Now, I just want to say that not for the person I want to answer the question, but also for us all, there is still a lot of things in the system that is, in as much as we are making more money, we are doing more work and all that. So we just want to know all those things. And when we identify the problem, we can now tackle the solution. So yeah, Miss Ola, you have the floor.
Thank you very much for that concerning question about women limiting limiting barriers. Okay, one of the most important thing is time factor. Of course, for women in their homes, wearing different caps, they are wives, they are mothers, they are CEOs, they are founders. The time factor is still there. It still exists. Women don't have that luxury of time like male counterparts. So that is one thing that is still quietly limiting some women. Let's just be honest. That is one thing quietly limiting some. And how can we dismantle that? I think we can now talk about maybe women going for time management courses.
Hmm.
Women, yeah, and also another one is now that we have technology, it has helped us to even break that barrier the more. The access to
Yeah.
remote jobs, the access to remote jobs and jobs that are flexible, that hybrid roles that allow women to come in maybe like twice a week to the office, then
Yeah.
work from
Yeah.
home for 2 days. These are the kind of things that we really need to look into. Organizations really need to look into. The fact that you work from home does not mean you cannot produce the same. You cannot be as efficient. I work from home and I'm even double efficient as I would be working in the office. And another thing is capital access. Like one of the Alima mentioned, and even you, Evening, when you were talking about women being over mentored and then being
That's
short
also.
of sponsorship. Yes, that exists. So there is this capital that when it comes to empowerment, we empower women with different skills. But when it comes to the access to the main opportunities, they are not there for women. And how do
Yeah.
we break this barrier? I think women should now begin to speak up more for women. Yes, we should not stop at empowering
Yeah.
our fellow women. We should also maybe start going extra mile for them to access fund for their businesses. Women that are already there should make the steps or processes and procedures of accessing loan for women to break the barrier a bit, because now, if you go to any traditional banks, for women they will be looking for proof, maybe proof that you've done a business before in the past and it's yielding some kind of
Unlike
proof
for
to prove
me.
yourself as a woman that you can do
Mm,
it, that you can utilize the resources well. But for men, it's not like that. If they look into
mm,
potential, that okay, this person has tech skill, is a man,
yeah.
things like that still exist. Okay, that is for capital access gap. And the third one is skill gap. Of course, nowadays women are now encouraged to even apply to skill upskilling programs, to apply for empowerment programs. Of course, that is now there, and that is under how we are dismantling the skill gaps. But we still need to encourage more women to come out of their shell and go for empowerment programs, upskill in terms of tech and even non-tech roles, executive assistant role. I believe it gives women that flexibility to work with anyone and even from anywhere, and also virtual assistants, skills like that.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think I will
Thank you.
summarize my point into three: time factor, capital
Yeah.
access gap, and also skills gap.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Time factor, capital access gap, and skills gap. I hope you are noting things. All right. I think my almost second to the last question will be going to Alima. Our time is fast spent. So I want to ask Alima, what does real power look like for women today? Like the status quo. What does it look like in authority, in influence, in ownership, and in access? What does it look like today?
Okay, thank you, Evelyn, because I ran out of time, so I'll be very fast about this, okay? So,
Thank you.
what real power looks like for women today, to me, is the ability to be able to make decisions. You can control resources, have influence, not just holding title, okay? But I've seen women with no formal authority still shape entire organization through systems, strategy, and trust. In my role in operation, as I said earlier, I've seen that structure gives people real access. So I'm just going to stop that because of time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I also want to touch on the fact about how balancing visibility and credibility in leadership. So I'll just touch on it, and then I can ask Taiwo or Gwemisola to also speak on that. So, visibility without credibility can feel very risky. Like you are visible to people, but you are not credible in your work. And also, credibility without visibility can keep you invisible, can keep your work being unappreciated continually. And in my experience, I've understood that credibility is built through consistent effort, sound judgment and preparation. You don't get visible accidentally. You intentionally position yourself to be visible to colleagues, to people ahead of you, to people outside the organization. It is not about self-promotion, but it's about owning your seat at the table. So I believe we agree with me when I say that it is not about being loud to be visible, but we need to be clear about our value. Taiwo touched on values, clear about our expertise, care about our competence, what we can do, so that it is not about performance and we know that we earn it when we talk about what we can do. Is there anybody that wants to talk on that? And if not, I'll just randomly speak. I'll just randomly call anybody. Just give us your final words if you have just one parting shot. So if you want to conclude on what I touched on, you can, and also give your parting shots because our time is gone already. So I'll start with Bemitola.
I would like to wrap it up from here by, emphasizing on how we use technology to promote ourselves, to promote the work we do, to learn as much as we want to learn, to, improve our career, to socialize, to network, to gain access. I would just say that women should be more intentional about how we use technology and AI. Technology is no longer the future, is now the present. And if
Yeah,
you are still very shy of using technology the right way, of leveraging the
yeah,
technology, because there is a difference from using technology and leveraging technology to your
yeah,
advantage, you are
yeah.
missing in this current age. So let
Thank
women
you.
use technology intentionally, and AI is also there to amplify what we do.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Taiwo,
Okay, please, as women, remember
1 minute.
that a leader who is depleted cannot build something that lasts.
Mm.
Protect your well being as a leadership strategy. Rest is not laziness, boundaries are not weaknesses, and well being is not optional. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Adebumi, you've been are you here? Can you give us a parting word? Adebumi. All right.
Okay, I'm here.
No
Thank you.
problem.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, I'm
okay.
here. Can you hear me?
Yes, please. I
Hello,
can
can
hear
you hear
you.
me? Can you hear
I
me?
can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I would just like to implore our women. I would like to tell them that as a woman, do not be afraid to access rooms that matter, and to also you need to always make sure that your voice is heard. Okay, as a
Thank
woman, you
you.
have the power, you have the influences to make decisions that takes you to the rooms that you never expected. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. As we continue to break barriers, let's remember that power is not about positions, it's about purpose, persistence, and the courage to lead. Thank you for joining us for this panel session. We are so, so glad, and I've had a wonderful time with all my wonderful women here. So, bye. Have a great evening. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.